Now, I know that this may come as a shock to a lot of you. One thing that I hate, that you should know about me, is that I honestly, completely, and wholeheartedly
hate horror movies.
I know it sounds like blasphemy, especially with my least favorite holiday around the corner. I really especially despise those slasher movies, where the bad guy walks around in some really cool and silly mask, trying to look scary. I mean, have any of them actually seen any of the scary movies, franchise films? Those are actually scary. Unlike Michael Myers, he's a total wuss who just kills his own family nonstop for 20-some years. And Jason Voorhees, a boy who drowned in some lake no one's ever heard of because his mommy wasn't watching him swim, and has a peculiar interest in hockey gear and the premarital sex habits of the camp counselors around him. I I don't get it. I don't know why anyone would think that I, of all people, would like such silly and ridiculous movies. Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel yet again, where we're going to dive into another controversy. It's a subject that's both frustrating and, let's be honest, far more ridiculous and cheesy 80s horror movie plots and my acting. Ableism. Get ready to have your mind blown as we see absurdity. People demanding that others prove their disability to them, and how that only adds to the stigma surrounding disabilities in general. And of course, like all my videos that we cover here on the channel, of course, is a good mix of hypocrisy thrown in for good measure. So, sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's see what today's video has in store. Alright, so, setting the groundwork for the story. Really simple story. This is in the UK, this is a man in a car who is disabled. He has a disabled pass on the front of his car. This woman also claims to have a disability of some sort, and she wants his spot. Will she be, just easygoing and approachable? Probably not, based on the fact that she already has her phone out and is filming for some unknown reason. Let's take a look. You're right there, love. You're right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
This is a disabled parking bay.
Okay, yeah, well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you got a disabled badge?
Well, yeah, I do. It's at the front. Okay, yeah. Anything else? Don't mean everything.
I'm sorry. Is that a fake badge?
No, it's not a fake badge. Whoa, excuse me, what are you doing?
You don't look like you're...
So here we have it. Hypocrisy. For starters, this is going to be a recurring theme and a recurring quote from Lady here, which is one of the real reasons why this is a real problem. Not just in this one video, but this is something that I've seen many disabled YouTube and other content creators talk about. There's Ricky Pointer, someone I followed for years on YouTube. She is deaf and has basically spent the last many years creating content a lot about these kinds of issues and these kind of interactions and scenarios that she would end up in with people having to explain her deafness or explain parts of her disability and trying to fight against weird interactions like this one. So this is a real issue. And unfortunately, it impacts a lot of people. And this line, this is where the hypocrisy comes in, of course, is she's claiming to have a disability of her own. And yet her first line is, I think your pass is fake. And you don't look like you're disabled to me. Those are her words on the screen. Read for yourself. And this comes back later on, as we can see, but we're already off to a horrible start. Anytime you have somebody that walks up to you and their phone is in their face and subsequently in your face, you know it's already off to a horrible start. So this is not looking good. But hopefully the interaction will smooth out. Let's keep watching.
Disabled to me.
Okay, and what's that supposed to mean?
This is a disabled parking place, and
Yeah.
I would like to park my car
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
I
hold on
have
a
a
minute.
disability.
Have you just not seen my disabled parking badge?
Yes, but I'm sorry. It doesn't look like my badge.
Well,
It looks nothing like my badge.
well, that's great. Like we don't look like each other.
it's not great because I believe it is not real, and I believe you're actually breaking the law.
I'm not breaking the law, love. You just need a disabled parking badge. That's my disabled parking
Did
badge.
you borrow this and photocopy
No, I've not.
it?
I've
It
not.
looks like a photocopy.
It's not a photocopy. It's a genuine disabled parking badge.
And you don't look disabled at all. And
What do you
you've
mean,
got
love? There's no
this
competition
big,
who's more
lovely
disabled, me or
car.
you, is it?
You've got a big car, and there's no alterations.
Okay, yeah.
So then she tries to make a point about, well, there's nothing altered about your vehicle, as if a disability would automatically mean that you have to have some kind of alteration or modification to your vehicle to make it more accessible for some disability. We don't see her car to see whether or not she herself has any sort of modification to her own vehicle. So jury's out on whether or not she's being quadruply hypocritical if she herself doesn't have a vehicle with any such modification for herself, and yet she's looking for it on his vehicle and using that as a point yet again in a ridiculous way to try to say, well, there's nothing that physically looks wrong with you physically with your own body, and the body of your car doesn't look like it's been modified in any way, so clearly you must be faking this whole disabled thing because that's such a trendy thing to do. Totally. And this guy, I have to say, throughout this video, this guy is so level-headed. He throws it right back at her, and he's so level-headed. It's great to see that he didn't escalate. He didn't try to push her too far, but he makes very valid points. And she doesn't even acknowledge them. She just bulldozes right over them and tries to keep pushing, which is just a really horrible tactic. If you're trying to actually win an argument with someone, you should listen to the points they're making and then try to dispute them so that, you can make a case, you can actually refute their claims or their statements. So she's not doing very good in that department, which is not helping her argument. She could have approached this right from the beginning a lot more friendly. She could have put the phone down. I know it's hard. You can put the phone down. See, the phone is flat, right? The back of it's flat. Hell, the whole thing is flat nowadays. So, it's meant to sit on a flat surface, like a desk or a table. Or you can even put it in your pocket. It slides in your pocket. Just hear me out. I know it's hard to believe. You can try it yourself right now. After the video, of course. Don't put me in your pocket now. You're going to get me all dirty. So, put down the phone, right? That's the first red flag. Walking up to someone with your phone, filming them, whatever, automatically shows you have some sort of, you're incentivized to approach someone, and you're pushing some kind of angle. And by that, I mean, you usually mean a terrible camera angle. But in all seriousness, this is a terrible way to approach any situation, no matter what it is. And then just to approach so aggressively, it's a very, very bad approach. So, again, this guy, level-headed throughout, makes great statements. And he always says here, like, okay, well, there's alterations in your jacket. We're all different people. We don't all look the same. But the hypocrisy gets worse, of course. Let's continue.
Is there any alterations in your jacket? I don't know. I don't care.
Well,
But no. But I'm saying, this is not a competition. Who's more disabled, me or you?
Says it's not a
Excuse me, I
competition.
don't have to show my disability, but
I don't
it's
have to show
there. And I
anyone my
have the
disability, but
correct
it's there.
disabled badge on my car,
have the
which is
correct
actually
badge on my
waiting
car.
It's one on my car
outside
as well.
to come onto the disabled parking spot.
Okay, is there a disabled badge on my car? Yes or no?
Well, there's a
And again,
badge, but it doesn't
he's very
look
matter of
disabled.
fact. Ma'am, do I have a disabled badge on my car? Yes or no? Well, you do, but I mean, it's not real, and you don't look disabled. I mean, these are really things that people say. This is not one isolated woman that just has this crazy mindset. A lot of people really do think this way. There's a lot of disabilities that aren't physical, or at least not immediately physical, visually able to be seen right out of the gate. So again, these are really harmful things to say to somebody, and it serves no purpose. And you sound stupid even saying them or thinking this way. Not everything you're going to see about someone doesn't make it not true just because you can't see it, right? I mean, if I tell you I have red eyes, are you going to honestly believe I have red eyes? No, of course not. But, I could have a prosthetic leg. And if I'm wearing jeans and stuff and shoes on it, you're probably not going to see very well. The point is, not everything has a physical display that you can immediately see. And her just endlessly going back to this point of, well, you don't look disabled, your badge looks fake, and your car doesn't look modified in any way, so clearly you're faking the whole thing. While she herself literally just stated, I have a thing, you can't see it, but it's there. My thing is real, but your thing that I can't see must not be real in any circumstance. And I'm so glad, again, that he doesn't argue with this. He doesn't really push even what she says back at her too much, which is kind of unfortunate.
Show me the badge.
You see right there?
No, you show it to me.
No.
Take it out and show it to me.
I didn't know. Well,
now.
Why? Are you a parking officer?
Again,
No, I'm not a parking
badge.
officer, but I know one.
Okay, then
There
call
is
him.
one.
Okay, again.
I'm going to call him.
I'll show him it. I'm parking enforcer on see it.
And again, he's reasonable. He's like, you can see my badge right there at the front of my car. You're looking right at it. You're saying, well, it doesn't look like mine. I don't know what they even look like in England, so who knows if there's variations. Maybe it's an older one. Maybe it's a newer one than hers. Maybe there's different color scheme for different things. Who knows? I have no clue. I'm not interested in looking it up to figure out the specifics because we don't even see it in the video and we don't see hers. So there's no way of even knowing any of the specifics about it. But it doesn't matter. The idea is the premise of she's going on and on and on. She literally says, well, I know someone who's a parking officer who could look at this. He literally says, call him. Have him come here and look at it then if you're so concerned. And of course he's like, well, I will, but you're going to give it to me first. I demand you show it to me. It's a ridiculous mindset. And people are out here really acting like this, and it's crazy. And then she's filming it. I would love to see the footage from her end. It would be terrifying. I'd have to put like sensors and trigger warnings. Just kidding. I hate trigger warnings. They're stupid. They don't mean anything. And well, there's a short on there from the last video on the channel if you want to check out my views on that. But again, why is she pushing this so much? She could have walked up to the guy without her phone, filming like a lunatic. She could have just walked up. She could have put the phone on the, in her pocket, in her purse, away. She could have approached the car. He could have rolled down his window and said, hey, I see you're into this, the disabled parking spot. I would like to use it. He says, well, actually, I'm using it. I have a pass. It's right here in front of my car. You can take a look. She says, well, it doesn't look like mine, but okay. You have something. Okay. Good enough for me. Sorry to bother you. Just thought I'd ask. Maybe you'd be willing to move or share the space or do something. But he's already there. What's the big deal? The whole interaction could have lasted 45 seconds and could have been done with. Instead, drags out, like a 4-minute video of this crazy interaction for no reason. And she's just instigating and pushing the same points and getting nowhere. And the guy's standing his ground, and good for him.
I'll show him it, but I don't need to show you it, though, do I?
You need to show me because I have a disability and I want to park here now.
I've got one as well.
What is it? Tell me.
It's none of your business. Well, that's
no,
what
you tell me. And then if I believe it's true, I will say, okay, you park here and I'm very sorry. But right now, I'm not sorry because this happens all the time.
Yeah, and right now I'm not.
So she literally says, I will be the judge of your disability. Tell me what it is, and I'll be the judge. Me, a non-medical expert, not a lawyer, just a crazy complaining lady who's making this whole scene and everything about her. Show me the proof. Tell me what your thing is, and I'll tell you whether or not I think it's legitimate. And if it is, I'll say I'm sorry, and I'll feel bad for 0 seconds flat. But I'll be the judge. You can trust me. I'm a doctor, right? I'm like Dr. Phil. Right. This is crazy. And he's like, I don't have to tell you anything. It's none of your business. And he actually doesn't push it back and flip it around on her, which is kind of weird that he didn't think to do that, maybe. But he doesn't throw it back at her and say, well, what's your disability then? Because you're saying you don't have to tell me anything. I'm disabled and you can't see it, but it's there. She said that earlier, and now she's literally saying, tell me what your thing is, because I can't see it either. And I'll tell you whether it's legitimate. And you can have the space or not. I told you, hypocrisy's crazy. Well, here it is. Yet again.
I'm sorry either.
Right, so what's your disability? Prove it.
It's none of your business.
Prove it to me.
And say what badge right there. That's all you need to see.
Right, I'm going to take that out. Right.
What do you mean you take that out? Excuse me. I'm going to close the window.
Oh, gosh.
I wish you closed the window.
Well, I can't quite reach it.
Well, no, you can't reach it because you need longer arms, love.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry, but...
That's the best line in the whole thing. I promise you, that's the best line in the whole thing. He should have shut the whole window on her arm. But he didn't. He didn't engage with her physically, which is actually good. He didn't push her out of the window. He didn't close the window on her arm. He didn't open the door and shove her out of the way. I mean, I would have done like all three of those things in no certain order. Because at that point, you're reaching into my vehicle. I don't know what you have on you. You're entering my space. My vehicle's a space that you're not supposed to be within. If you start reaching through my door, I mean, that's how bad things happen to you. But again, this guy has incredible restraint. He doesn't push her. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't even touch her. He lets her reach for the thing. Gets it on film. The dude is way more patient, way more resilient than I am in this kind of situation. I would be so annoyed, and reaching for anything near me like that would not end well for you. That would not be good. So, again, she is so demanding. She's literally reaching in this guy's car, trying to grab his pass, his thing. And this is just, like, he's just filming this like it's just another day. Like, here's another one. This is insane. But he's smart. He doesn't engage. He doesn't really fight. He's like, you've seen the thing. You can see it all you want. It's real. I'm allowed to be here. And he just stands his ground. And he's great for doing so. But this is insane.
You shouldn't be here. You've got no right to be here.
People can't park here. This is a parking space. You can't park here.
But you can if you're disabled.
Yeah, but like, you're not in a car though, are you?
Yeah,
but like, you're not in a car though, are you?
Of course I'm in. My car's around the corner.
Yeah, so then you might as well go back to that car because like you as a person can't park here.
But it's just in a regular parking spot, and I want the disabled spot. I'm entitled to the disabled spot. I've paid for it.
Well, I'm here as well.
Yes, but you don't look disabled, and you've got this big car that looks with no things changed on it. You've got nothing.
Again, who cares? Who cares if something's been changed or not? Again, we don't see her car to see what she's modified to it. So she's making more claims that it should be a certain way. This car has to look different. You're driving some kind of big car, whatever that means, who knows? And yet she's probably a hypocrite with her own car as well. All in all, just a crazy, crazy thing. I saw this and I was just like, this is such a bizarre interaction. And I saw how the guy handled himself, and I said, this guy is a legend, right? This guy is just, he doesn't engage with her. You know, he throws it back at her verbally, you know, like, oh, you should go get back in your, where's your car? Oh, over there. Well, you should go get back in it because, you know, that's where you belong. But he never physically pushes her. He doesn't do anything to engage with her physically. And the guy is just level-headed as hell and deserves way more credit than I would ever get. I would basically end up being one of those people in one of these movies back here that I'm totally not a fan of. That was a joke, by the way. It was sarcasm. I love horror movies. I love slashers especially. And if that's not blatantly obvious to you, I don't know what to tell you. But thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments. I can't talk. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. Did the woman even have a point? Was she valid in any point she made? I don't think so. And I think that guy, again, was so level-headed. He did not engage, and he just filmed. He just let her talk. He answered her. And she just kept pushing and pushing and pushing the same issues and did not let up and was completely unreasonable right out of the gate, filming, approaching, just being, why are you here? And I deserve to be here. And again, this is just one example caught on film. And this is the kind of thing that happens all the time with people with disabilities, especially ones that are not physically apparent or obviously apparent at first glance. And this is just a terrible thing in society, and nobody should have to go through this kind of harassment and this kind of demands and weird claims, and you're not required to prove anything. I mean, we have an Americans with Disability Act for this reason, you know, and people going around and making these kinds of ridiculous situations happen are terrible people, and this should not happen. And when she started reaching in the car, again, that's like a whole nother issue of just, now you're inside of my space. I don't know what you have. You know, you can have something in your hands. You could have something in your other hands. You could be trying to reach in. That would have been a situation I would have drove away, or I would have opened the door to push her out of the way and then drove away. At the very least, the window should have been rolled up. He had no obligation to engage her. After he showed the pass, she's looking at it from the outside of the car. You know, he could have talked with her through the closed window and maintained that level of, you know, protection. But he didn't, and regardless, he kept his own, and he did a great job. And that woman is a complete moron. And again, I'd love to see her footage from it, but there's no reason to, because we got the best footage right there that I just showed you. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs up if you did. And be sure to subscribe. This way, every time I post a new video, your ears will ring and you'll feel excited, and you'll just have to sit around and wait and wonder what controversial opinion we're going to show you next, right here on Controversial Opinions.